Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what happened. You guys still there? You guys still there? I'm gonna wait for a second. I'm gonna wait for a second. I'm gonna wait for a second. I'm gonna wait till y'all get in the chat. Yeah, we back. We back. I mean, you know what they gonna do. You know that they because I know it's probably a little over 2 hours. They like this nigga talking and it was still playing on your end. Yeah, it said that it crashed on my end, so I just reset it. I didn't want to have no issues, but it said that it crashed on my end. So yeah, they hating the truth, bro. Oh, yeah. Red said they hating the truth. Of course, too much real. Yeah, too much real shit. They had to take it down, and we just get listen. This the heat, and I hate that they took it away because I wanted it to roll. Man, I hate that they did that. I like for it to flow. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's go because let's. Hey, ones in the chat if you can hear me though. You guys can hear me. Give me ones in the chat if you can hear me. Before I get started, I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Let's make sure that the volume and everything is all right. So ones in the chat if you guys can hear me, and then I'll proceed. What's up, Harriet Lee? Yeah. All right. Albert 432 said it's good. All right, we good. All right, let's go. Cause they hate cause this what you thought you was gonna stop the Crystallologists from bringing his heat? Come on now. Now, like I said before, Michael Moss, salt, sugar, fat. You have to have this in your library. You can order this book for you can go on eBay, get it for like $4 or $5, brothers and sisters. You can get it for like $4 or $5. I bought this. I bought an extra copy. It was like $5. Okay. Okay, that's what's up. Red said they'll share it again and stuff. Get the people back. No doubt. Okay, so we're gonna read a little bit of this, and I want you to show I want to show you they know exactly what they're doing. So I'm gonna skip from chapters and stuff. This is all coming from this book, so I'm finna show you. Now, it was a point in time in Minneapolis. They was having a meeting. The industry giants were having a meeting, right? So among them, they controlled 700,000 employees and $280 billion in annual sales. This was a meeting they had on April 8, 1999. All right. They was rivals any other day, but now these CEOs are coming together, right? Because remind you have to understand that around this time too, they started to do what was called the Human Genome Project. Pause. Sidebar. Pause. Just so you know, this Blanco not God. But you knew that it was a war tactic. Let's show you why he did that. So let's go into this, right? Let's go into this right quick. I just got to show you guys something before we get into this book, because I forgot that this is important to us building up this framework. Okay. So hold on one second, brothers and sisters. Okay, hold on one second, brothers and sisters. Let me get this. I think this is it right here. Let me see. All right. Let me make sure this is it. Make sure this is it. I think this is the full article. Hold on. Damn. Where is it at? Where did they go with it? I already had this. Okay. All right. This should be it right here. Let's make sure. Yes, this is it right here. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my screen. We're about to get into this. Let me check the chat. Let me see, man. Hopefully, like you said, we got all our people in there. I know they all probably was like, what the heck is going on? Hold on. Yeah, but we just gonna continue, man. They stopped the little flow or whatever, but it is what it is. All right, so let's go into the human, because they're gonna miss out on some vital information. I mean, if the people don't come back, man, they missed out big time on this one. So let me share my screen, just to get this rocking and rolling. All right, now give me ones in the chat if you guys can still hear me when I switch screens. Just want to make sure. Just want to get a couple ones in the chat to ensure that you guys can still hear me when I switch screens. I'm gonna wait because there's a delay. Goddess Amartha said, good to see you. Love your book. Appreciate that, Goddess. Appreciate that. All right, we rocking and rolling. Okay, now, the Human Genome Project, the most important biomedical research undertaking of the 20th century. All right, the Human Genome Project was a landmark global scientific effort whose signature goal was to generate the first sequence of the human genome. Sequencing the genome, you got, 4 base pairs, right? And you basically sequencing the genome is just basically finding out what's the order of those pairs. Just as simple as that. That's what sequencing the DNA means. It's just finding out what the base pairs, what order they're in. Okay, that determines, the makeup of whatever species it is by knowing what their sequence is. Okay. In 2003, the Human Genome Project produced a genome sequence that accounted for over 90% of the human genome. This is huge because a lot of people thought that this Blanco went ahead and sequenced the entire human genome. He did not. Okay, it was close as to complete as the technologies for sequencing DNA allowed at the time. But this Blanco was like making you think that he was a god. People was running around like, oh, they sequenced the entire genome. I think this started from, like they said, from 1990 to 2003, 13 years, because they love their numbers. The project was critical for advancing policies and earning increased support for the open sharing of scientific data. I want you to remember that, critical for advancing policies. Concerns and questions about sequencing the human genome helped to usher in a greater emphasis on ethics in biomedical research. The project was atypical for biomedical research, and that the researchers' work was driven by a desire to explore an unknown part of the biological world, as opposed to first formulating a theory or hypothesis. Okay? So the Human Genome Project was a large, well-organized, and highly collaborative international effort that generated the first sequence of the human genome and of several additional well-studied organisms. Carried out from 1990 to 2003, it was one of the most ambitious and important scientific endeavors in human history. Okay? See Bill Clinton and all of that? So DNA sequencing involves determining the exact order of the bases in DNA, the A's, C's, G's, and T's that make up segments of DNA. Because the Human Genome Project aimed to sequence all of the DNA of a set of organisms, significant effort was made to improve the methods for DNA sequencing. All right. So they show you that this was the wanted ad because they got their participants in Brooklyn, New York. Okay? The project researchers used a thoughtful process to recruit volunteers, acquire their informed consent, and collect their blood samples because they needed the plasma. They needed the crystals, okay? Most of the human genome sequence generated by the Human Genome Project came from blood donors in Buffalo, New York, specifically 93% from 11 donors and 70% from one donor. So they're doing human the sequencing DNA from people in Buffalo, New York. At this time, if you look up the statistical data in terms of who populated Buffalo, New York, you would know that the vast majority of that population was black people. Now, it doesn't say for sure because they keep the donors' names, hidden. So we want to know is Haywood going to be reaching when he says that we know that these were black people who donated their plasma? I guarantee you that I can make that a reality. But we're going to continue to keep reading on. As you see, here's a photo of a researcher at Washington University in St. Louis handling frozen clones containing human DNA being studied by Human Genome Project researchers, okay? So we see the Blanco, right? Trying to look all smart, but there's no such thing as a Blanco scientist, so I ain't believing that shit, all right? Now, you see these Blancos. Now, they said it's an international project, but we see the Asian, the Caucasian, right? We know that they're only working together. right? Look, they all got glasses or sunglasses on. That's also symbolically important because they hiding from the sun. These individuals, we have to see these individuals as exactly what they are. They came here, they saw, and they feel like they have to conquer. Now, they said this was an international project. If so, I guarantee you from all the pictures that I show you that they put up on this site, this is the National Institute of Health. They put up on their site that you will see no black person participated in this study. Besides the participants, besides the blood that they had collected. All right. Now it says, let's go up a little bit because did the Human Genome Project produce a perfectly complete genome sequence? No. Throughout the Human Genome Project, researchers continually improved the methods for DNA sequencing. However, they were limited in their abilities to determine the sequence of some stretches of human DNA, particularly complex or highly repetitive DNA. In June 2000, the International Human Genome Sequence Consortium announced that it had produced a draft human genome sequence that accounted for 90% of the human genome. The draft sequence contained more than 150,000 areas where the DNA sequence was unknown because it could not be determined accurately, known as gaps. In April 2003, in April 2003, the consortium announced that it had generated an essentially complete human genome sequence, which was significantly improved from the draft sequence. Specifically, it accounted for 92% of the human genome and less than 400 gaps. It was also more accurate. On March 31st, 2022, the Telomere Consortium announced that it had filled in the remaining gaps and had produced the first truly complete human genome sequence. So it wasn't until last year that these blancos actually got done. But they were celebrating like they did something. And I'm pretty sure the vast majority of individuals thought that these blancos had did the job. All right? Now look at this photo. Look at this photo. Where are the black scientists? Where are the black scientists? Do you see them? Do you see them? You see the Asians. You know, because we know what they are. They invested in this too. They got to convince us that we more closely related to monkeys and shit. We see the Asians. Where are the black scientists? I'll wait. Zero Da Vinci said, amazing work. Finally got to see a live stream. Had your book since 2021. Love reading it to my family. Appreciate that, Zero. That's what's up. That's what's up. Where are the black scientists? There are none. So with that in mind, with that conceptual framework being built, I need y'all to understand what I'm about to read to you is crucial. You need to take this in. We're going to go back to this book. Now we've set the stage. Okay? Hold up. Now we set the stage. Okay. So we see that these individuals were meeting. These companies were meeting, right? Now, it says Nestle was in attendance, as were Kraft and Nabisco, General Mills and Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola and Mars. All these individuals that claim that they're competing with one another were all in attendance. Okay? It says they were here to represent the industry titans, Cargill and Tate & Lyle, whose role it was to supply the CEOs with ingredients they relied on to win. This is important. Why is this important, brothers and sisters? You know why this is important? Because on the side note, sidebar, Cargill company that they use to make these ingredients, the salts and the sugars, guess what they call the name of the company? Diamond Crystal Brands. I cannot make this shit up. Diamond Crystal Brands. That was the name of the giants that supplied your ingredients to the foods that you love coming out of these industries. That was the name of their company because they're aware of the crystals, brothers and sisters. They're totally aware, but you have to do your research and be an avid researcher to understand this. It says James Binky was all too familiar with the power of salt, sugar, and fat, having spent 26 years of Pillsbury under six chief executives having spent 6 years at Pillsbury under six chief executive officers, a chemist by training with a doctoral degree in food science. So this is why I'm telling you that this is chemistry. This is all alchemy. I'm telling you, you have alchemy. See, the alchemists understand this. They make the drugs, they make your foods. These are the ones that stand in between you and your doctors, you and your knowledge. They are the ones who control that knowledge, and they will not let it go. They will not let you know for one iota that one, they know exactly what they're doing, and two, exactly what you are, because who you are can change. But what you are is the way that you will see your way through all of this madness when you find that out. So let's continue to keep reading. We're going to skip through some of these chapters because I want you guys to hear some of this stuff. This stuff is extremely powerful. Okay? Now, I know Riz might like this point too because this is dope. This is dope. This is dope. But I got to make sure I get all these points in here. Oh my goodness. These are huge points. I can't even. All right. Okay. It says, forget what we learned in school from the old diagram called the tongue map. The one that says our 5 main tastes are detected by 5 distinct parts of the tongue. That the back has a big zone for blast the bitter, the sides grab the sour and the salty, and the tip of the tongue has the one single spot for sweet. The tongue map is wrong. As researchers would discover in the 1970s, its creators misinterpreted the work of a German graduate student that was published in 1901. His experiments showed only that we might taste a little more sweetness on the tip of the tongue. So remember, we told you, he still teaches this outdated shit to us though. You go to school, even on the collegiate level, he told you about these 5 parts of the tongue and all that different shit. This shit does not, it's incorrect. But we told you that about calories. While people still call these things calories when they actually use what's called the mechanical theory of heat. They don't use calories and caloric value. They'll use this stuff so that you associate it with that, but this is not what they use. We have to understand that. It's a part of their sorcery. Okay? It's a part of their sorcery. All right? I want to show you how deep this stuff goes. Okay? All right, I'm going to come back to those things. I'm going to come back to that. All right, it says that scientists at Nestle are currently fiddling with the distribution and shape of fat globules to affect their absorption rate, and as it's known in the industry, their mouthfeel. At Cargill, the world's leading supplier of salt, scientists are altering the physical shape of salt, pulverizing it into a fine powder to hit the taste buds faster and harder, improving what the company calls its flavor burst. Sugar is being altered in myriad ways as well. The sweetest component of simple sugar, fructose, has been crystallized into an additive that boosts the allure of foods. Scientists have also created enhancers that amplify the sweetness of sugar to 200 times its natural strength. This is what's going on, okay? But we're going to get to the big points of all this. That's just a small part of this, right? That's just a small part. All right? It says, let me go to this. Let me go to this. All right? Now, for some answers to this question, or for most of the foundational science on how and why we are so attracted to sugar, the food industry has turned to a place called the Monell Chemical Center in Philadelphia. It is located a few blocks west of the Amtrak station in a bland 5-story brick building, easily overlooked in the architectural wasteland of the district known as University City. Except for Eddie, the giant sculpture that stands guarding the entrance. Eddie is a 10-foot high fragment of a face, and he perfectly captures the obsessions of those inside. He is all nose and mouth. So let's see why this is important. Over the last 40 years, more than 300 physiologists, chemists, neuroscientists, biologists, and geneticists have cycled through Monell to help decipher the mechanisms of taste and smell, along with the complex psychology that underlies our loves for food. So they show you they got a complex where they've researched your crystals, where they're producing these things for war, and they are enacting them. That whole thing about the Genome Project was nothing but the gloss over. They had to figure out exactly what could destroy you. That's what that. And if you think I'm lying, let's continue to keep going on. Let's continue to keep going on. Now, this is on page 8 of Salt, Sugar, Fat. The center's earliest. Now, watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you about this, brothers. This is going to be. Now, hold on. This is going to be huge. Watch what I'm about to say. I need you guys. That's why I need you guys to get this book, because this is about to be huge, what I'm about to say. The center's earliest research on our taste buds based on age, sex, and race. Back in the 1970s, researchers at Monell discovered that kids and African Americans were particularly keen on foods that were salty and sweet. More African Americans chose the sweetest and saltiest solutions. One of Monell's sponsors, Frito-Lay, was particularly interested in the salt part of the study, since the company made most of its money on salty chips. Citing Monell's work in a 1980 internal memo, a Frito-Lay food scientist summed up the finding on kids and added, racial effect. It has been shown that blacks, in particular black adolescents, displayed the greatest preference for a high concentration of salt. That's what they doing. That's what they doing. Okay? This is what they doing. All right, let me go on. Let me go on, because I got another point that'll complement that, because that's just not all, brothers and sisters. That's just not all. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. All right. Hold on. Because I want to show you how racial it is. Okay. Hold on. I done read this whole book. I got to make sure I get, bear with me, brothers and sisters. Bear with me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, got to keep that part. Okay. All right. Set the race. Okay, here we go. This is what Dr. Pepper did. Dr. Pepper wanted to get in on it too. It said, if we are to reestablish Dr. Pepper back to its historic growth rates, we have to add more excitement. The company's president, Jack Kilduff, said, research showed that Red Fusion would even attract new customers to the brand. One particularly promising market, Kilduff pointed out, was that rapidly growing Hispanic and African American communities where Dr. Pepper had low brand development. So it goes on, and it talks about sugar in terms of it being something that infants love. Obviously, we know this because we talked about lactose, and we see lactose is a crystal. They honed in, and this is when they started to redesign Enfamil or synthetic milk in a number of different ways. And then we go off to understanding that this is a battle of chemistry. Now check this out. It says it's talking about a chick named Dixon. It said Dixon belonged to the American Home Economics Association, whose founder Ellen Henrietta Swallow Richards had parlayed her training in chemistry at MIT into a career as a consumer activist. Richards tested commercial foods for toxic contaminants, lobbied for nutritious, inexpensive cooked food in the home and at school, and pushed back on the notion that convenience foods should be owned and controlled by the processed food companies. So basically, these chemists are going back and forth. Some, like we said, who fight for Mother Nature, they go against the big behemoths, right? These shared monopolies, who wanted to make sure that they were able to put out these weapons of war, right? To go to war with the crystallogians or the real bloodlines or the star lines that have the only real hope of actually reimagining this earth as what it really should be, as a so-called planet that is fit for those to be able to live life at its highest level, at its optimal level. Other than that, we won't attain that. We won't attain that. They know exactly what they are doing. They know exactly what they are doing, and their job is to force us to participate in these rituals. Their job is to force us to be conditioned by their science so that we go out and become our own enemies, that we become complicit in our own murders, that we become complicit in our own annihilation, that we become complicit in the genocide that they are pushing forth on our people through their science. Through their science. You don't think they follow you? The so-called Jews follow you. The lady who followed Henrietta Lacks family, who damn near just, just stayed on them and damn near, was a nuisance till she was able to write this book. This is a so-called Jew. I'm finna show you how deep this stuff goes. You see what I'm saying? They know you're the chosen line. All of these arguments, all about these places and all these different things. This is to distract you. While they're distracting you, we see that our people in the Congo are going through something. But remind you, Congo is one of the 13 countries that lies on the equator. We know how crystals are made. Crystals are made through the sun emitting these crystals. This is why they're being devastated over there. Then we see over in Haiti and all of that, and what we call the Mystery Islands, the Greater and the Lesser Antilles, the West Indies. All right? They have to control these ports of energy. We also told you that the Bermuda Triangle is the deepest part of the Atlantic Ocean. We told you about the Rossby waves and stuff like that, that they have these more or less what you want. I mean, you can interpret them as wormholes. You see what? Because that's exactly what they call them. All these energy sites that they have to control, including the organism that we call the black man and the black woman. These crystallogens. This is extremely important. So you have to understand, as we recap on all of these things, that all of this comes about through what we call alchemy. All right? Through alchemical manipulation. The alchemists are the ones who stand between you and your doctor and you and the truth, because they know exactly what they are doing. Do not allow them to make you feel that they are that they don't know what's going on. They are feigning ignorance. They are feigning ignorance. You see what I'm saying? So that's crucial for your understanding. They are feigning ignorance. So when you know that they have put forth a concerted effort, these individuals who appear to be rivals, who own these food companies and stuff, they are fully aware that sugar is a crystal. We've already pulled up the article from the Encyclopedia Britannica, which is seen as a trusted source because a lot of our people see these blancos as gods, right? So it came from the Encyclopedia Britannica. We showed you a photo in the first live before, and the live initially before we got cut, that it is a crystal. That they're working with crystals. We showed you the company Cargill. We provided evidence that Cargill, you can look this up, Cargill, name of their company that actually makes these ingredients that goes into our foods, was called Diamond. What was it called? Diamond Crystal Brands. They ended up changing their name last year, but that's what they stayed with for a very long time because they knew eventually somebody would catch on to this shit. And it was going to be me. I was going to catch on because I'm on you. I'm on you. I know exactly what you're doing. So, even when you take a look at what they make now, I'm gonna give you two things that I want to talk about, which I didn't bring up in the previous video in the Killers of the Flower Moon. Remember we talked about obviously crystals, sugars are crystals and they bond together. You were a chemist, like I said, you were a chemist all along, but you just knew these things in layman terms. One of the most popular alcoholic drinks in the hood back in the day, if you were 80s baby, you knew was called malt liquor. You knew it was called malt liquor. But remember we told you two crystals together when they bond, when glucose bonds with another glucose molecule, it makes maltose. Hence you have malt liquor. Hence you have malt liquor. Another thing that we were used to. Remember back in the day when our mothers would buy sugar, even table sugar back in the day, even though it was refined. Remember how if you left it out, it would clump up? Because the water would hit it and the water would force the crystals to bond. It was literally clumping or making the crystals bond together. That shows you the power of the water in the sugar. I told you this is key to your plasma. But you see right in front of your face how these crystals bonded together in the presence of water. Now, if you notice, most sugar and most salt, or most crystals now, which are the sugars and the salt, have what you call anti-clumping agents in them. Which means that when in the presence of water, they don't clump together. That's why you can leave a lot of this sugar and salt out now and it don't clump together. Because it's not attracted to water. But yet these blancos will have you put that sugar, that salt, those crystals, even though they're refined, in the first place, you shouldn't be using them anyways. They will have you put those crystals in your body when you're supposed to be 70% water. So if I got sugar and salt that don't bond with water, what do you think it's going to do in your body when it gets into your body? It doesn't bond with water. They're called anti-clumping agents. But more or less, when you see this from the chemical perspective or alchemical perspective, you understand that they're going to war with you. You understand that they are going to war with you. Especially when we already know that sugar is a hormone. Okay, we've already provided ample evidence for that. Okay. Say Zero Dimension, say, yeah, they changed it to DYMA brands. Yup, crazy. Yup. Okay, man. This is Supreme, I think it's Magneto TV Said supreme bonus scholarship. Yeah, man, people are missing out on this. You're missing out because we're showing you that without a shadow of a doubt, all of these companies are have it in on for you. Have it in for you. You are the crystal. Everybody is more or less made of crystal because that's the only way carbon bonds. Carbon only bonds in something called diamond cubic form. It only crystallizes. We see that through sugars. Okay, sugars is an integral part of this. And every article you read on sugar, the Blanco tries to get you to believe that you can quit it, like your blood does not run off of it. This is critical. This is how crystals bond, is by other crystals. We call them sugars, but they are crystals. They are crystals. Okay, and they have mastered this to a degree in order to just weaponize them. All right. And then what they do is they feign ignorance and they let people know it's just sugar, it's just salt. Oh, yeah, you know, oh, we're about the bottom line. Oh, we're just about the dollar. And everybody who's running around acting like, oh, these Blancos, just about the bottom line. It's all about the dollar. This book proves you wrong. These people meet up. They act like they're competitors in the light, but in the dark, they are a consortium of individuals. They are a conglomerate of companies that have come together with a common objective to destroy the crystallogians. You act like you forget that these people are Masons and shit. You act like these people you forget that they're part of fraternal organizations. That is deeper than what you see on the outside. You forget that they have a common goal. Okay? That's what you need to know. So, one of the things that I wanted to do was just to show you too. I wanted to go here. I wanted to show you exactly what I was talking about. Just to show you it's about alchemy. It's about alchemy. Because I can't make this shit up. I can't make this shit up, man. So one more tab. And I'm going to share my screen right quick. And I want y'all to see what they call this, what this is all about. Now, you got to know that we know carbohydrates is the basis of life for the most part. How organisms not only reproduce within themselves and with other organisms, but these are our hormones, these are our genes. This is the basis of the backbone of so-called DNA. All this stuff. This is the crystals that the sun gives to the crystallogens, to plant species. But we know we are one and the same because we know carbon is only Latin for coal. Coal is decomposed plant material. We know about the melanin molecule, which is C18H10N2O4, a 34 atom molecule with 18 of those 34 atom molecules being carbon. So melanin is like a supercharged form of carbon or a supercharged form of plant material. And it has an extreme amount of power. How do we know this? How do we know this in alchemy? Watch how I'm about to, let me just pull up the article. I'm about to share my screen. Science Tech Daily. Modern day alchemy transforming sugar into hydrocarbons to power future cars. It's having a little trouble loading or whatever. Okay, so it says genetically engineered bacteria can convert glucose into a fatty acid, which can be transformed into hydrocarbons called olefins. To grow such bacteria, scientists add the microbes to flasks filled with nutrients, the yellow broth, and shake them in an incubator to encourage oxygen flow as pictured here. So basically what it's going to go on and tell you is that they use this genetically modified form of E. coli. Now, mind you, during the Genome Project, E. coli was one of the organisms that they sequenced. To do their dirty work. Did you know that? Okay? So they use E. coli, the genetically modified version of it, because E. coli is hungry for sugar. Everything wants to consume carbon. Because it's packed with all of this energy. It is the energy of life. This is one of the reasons why life is built on carbon. Therefore, this is the reason why the study of carbon is called organic chemistry. And this is the reason why if you are an alchemist, you are of the highest intelligence, because this is where the secret lies in alchemy. This is what you need to know. So you have them turning sugar into hydrocarbons or oil or gas. This mysterious and elusive energy that can power a semi-truck down the road at 100 miles an hour. This is what is in your skin, brothers and sisters. This is what you're made out of. This is what is in your brain. This is not pseudoscience. This is why I tell you that they make sure that they put a concerted effort forth to ensure that you take in the crystals that will not allow you to reach these levels. So a lot of us say, oh man, I've been trying to do this. Oh, meditating, hemi-syncing, trying to put both hemispheres together, all this different stuff. And you have all of these sages, all of these individuals who talk about how you can do these things to reach higher levels. But they don't realize that there is a practical way to do all of these things. There is a practical guide called alchemy. And the practical way to attain these is through taking in the right crystals, not putting them on your neck, not surrounding yourself with them in your room, by making sure that you consume the crystals in your lifestyle, because you are a crystal in form of an organism that you call the black man and the black woman. That's what you need to know. So this is heavy stuff right here, brothers and sisters. This is just so deep. And we're going to clean it up, because I know it seems all over the place. And because I was in a flow with the live, and I was, I'll be getting into a flow, and my flow helps me to, conceptualize it. And I hate when we get these interruptions, because it takes away from me being able to flow it. And that's just how I click. But we're going to show another video. I want to preface this video. So we got fire emojis in the chat. Straight pressure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is, it's deep stuff, man. This is deep stuff. Oh, yeah, we ain't speaking nothing but facts. That's all we do here. Facts over feelings here. We don't speak nothing but facts. So what I'm finna do, I want to preface this video by 1976 Copyright Act, Section 106. Allowances made for fair use for the purposes of commentary, criticism, news reporting, education, scholarship. But overall here at the FOF Squad, waking your ass up. And this video in and of itself that I'm using, I'm going to go to it because it's from a YouTuber. And I've subscribed to their channel because they always have dope stuff. They always have dope stuff. So let me pull it up right quick. Hold on. And so we're going to go back and forth with this, and I want to show you exactly how they feel about you and what they know about you and how they've been doing this for a very long time. And what I also want to see, I want to see whether or not you guys can see just from the video what the video does, not what's going on in the discussion, but I want you guys to see what if you can spot what's hidden right in plain sight, so you can make a connection to what's going on right now. All right, so let me cue this video. Okay, so we're gonna show this video. So this is on Afro Marxist. He has 165,000. He or she has 165,000 subscribers. So Afro Marxist, Kwame Toure's debate with a Zionist. Okay, so we're gonna pull this up right quick, and we're gonna let it play for just a second, and I'm gonna stop it here and there to offer up my commentary. But I want to see. I think it's blocked, so you might not be able to see the thing hitting it. Okay, and I just gave it away too. But okay, we're just gonna let this play right quick. I'm gonna share my screen, and let's get into it.
Hello and welcome aboard the beautiful Amamak.
Trash. Hold on. That's not. Sorry about that. I don't know how that came up on the screen. That's Queen Abadiah. I listen to her every now and then too. But this is the video that we want.
They would pick him up overnight, And Rap Brown is bad who they know they couldn't pick up.
Mr. Carmichael, my first comment is a historical correction. The blacks did not build the pyramids, the Jews did.
The Jews?
That's number one.
I beg your pardon?
The blacks did not build...
So notice what he said. He said the blacks did not build the pyramids, the Jews did. This is what this Blanco says. This is what this Blanco said. Okay, so we're gonna let him go on. We're gonna let it go on.
The pyramids, the Jews did. That's comment number one.
Okay.
That's right. Jewish labor under Egyptian slave masters.
Continue.
My second comment.
Wouldn't have built them without slavery either.
Continue,
My
please.
second comment.
We let him state it. You want to help him? Come. You can help him.
My comment number two.
Let your brother continue.
Comment number two. If you believe that the Zionists control and exploit the people in this country, then you're an anti-Semite, even though you deny it in your book. Stokely Speaks.
Okay. Let's take your...
Comment number three.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's too bad that you align yourself against the national liberation movement of the Jewish people, Zionism. Because by doing that, you align the black people against the Jewish people. They each have national liberation movements, and to align them against each other just is calling for future conflict between them.
Okay,
Now, if you notice what this Blanco's talking about, because I got to get this off screen for a second because that shit be pissing me off even when I be noticing, even when I be listening to it and going over it. But you notice how like they always try to conflate the movements. He said, oh, you're denying it, first of all, he said the Jews is the one who built the pyramids. Now, remind you, the Blanco pathology is deep. The Blanco pathology is deep because he's saying that this pre-sunscreen, pre-sunblock era. Now, we already know about the high rates of skin cancer over there in Israel, right? So they're telling us before they even had sunscreen lotion or sunblock, they was over there working in the heat. They was over there working in the heat, starved because you're a slave. You're not being treated like the common man and woman. And you were moving these blocks that weigh tons, building the pyramids, which according to Blanco science took mathematical precision. So not only were you strong slaves, you were obviously intelligent because to build these pyramids took mathematical precision while you were slaves. So not only is the Blanco a god while they're acting like they're gods, they were also gods while they were slaves. They were also gods while they were slaves. You see, but they have to trap you into this because, see, they already know what you are. They already know what you are. Remember I told you about the clue? Let's share the screen again. Remember I told you about the clue because you weren't able to see it, but you were able to see it once I dropped it down. Right here.
Let's go to number one.
My bad. Right here, what you have, it says Stokely Carmichael at UCLA, 31 in January in 1973. Why is 1973 important? Now, if you guys were paying attention, which I know a lot of you Christologians were, if you were paying attention to what I was talking about in the previous video, one of my previous videos with the truth about the Israel and Palestinian conflict, you would know that 1973 was the year of the Yom Kippur War. So once again, you see as they at war now, just like they was at war then, what did they try to do? Suck black people into it. Ain't nothing new with these devils. Ain't nothing new with these devils. And once again, black people, even the most intelligent of us like Stokely Carmichael, find ourselves getting involved in something so that they can keep us in their spells. So that because they know that it takes our energy to manifest their destiny. Oh my goodness. Are y'all rocking with me? It takes our energy to manifest their destiny. You better know something about spell work. And all of these Negroes who claim to be sages, all these Negroes who claim to have in-depth analysis on a lot of these subjects, this has went over their heads. This just went right over their heads. Let me look at the chat. Because I'm killing these niggas, man. I don't know what the hell, but man. Better stop. They better stop playing. They better stop playing. Oh, yeah. I'm just looking at the chat. Just looking at the chat. Seeing what y'all was up to. Seeing what the Christologians was up to. Okay? So, that's one thing that we have to understand. We keep buying into the spell work. We keep buying into the rituals. We keep participating in the rituals because without us participating in the rituals, they cannot manifest their destiny. That's something that has to be understood through and through by the Christologians. Other than that, they're going to continue to keep doing it until they reach their destination because we keep falling for it hook, line, and sinker. Like I'm just showing you the evidence. You see what I'm saying? So, when we put forth a concerted effort to show that our other Christologian brethren and sisters are being slaughtered, are on the brink of extinction over there in the Congo, over there in the West Indies, and obviously here in the so-called United States, we see that we're being exterminated, and the rest of what we have, all our energy is supposed to go to them so that they can bring about their revelation, so that they can bring about what they desire, which is a one world government ran by them with very little of us and very little that we would have to do with it. right? They want us powerless in that regard and damn near extinct. But they need to continue to keep feeding off our plasma. But you have to understand, brothers, sisters, I told you this before. Not too long ago, they completed the periodic table of elements. They feel like they're complete. They feel like we no longer have to survive off these individuals, especially not in the numbers that we see now. Especially not in the numbers that we have now. They don't need us like that anymore, according to them. But we know stuff gonna backfire because, like I said, it is the ending for them and the beginnings for us. It's the endings for them, but it is beginning for us. It's just like how one of my favorite movies, The Great Debaters. He said that this is how they bring about their stuff. And it was in Latin. He said, solitudinem faciet pacem appellet. Solitudinem faciet pacem appellet, which means out of desolation, they create peace. This is what you are dealing with, brothers and sisters. You're dealing with someone who has a pathology, understanding that they are born of certain crystals that are not as powerful as yours. Okay? And they need your crystal power to bring about their new world order. That's why they need you to participate in their rituals, while simultaneously putting forth an effort, a concerted effort, to annihilate you. And they do this by making sure that they control all areas of life activity, like as was stated by Dr. Francis Wilson and Neely Fuller, in education, economics, entertainment, labor, law, politics, sex, religion, and war. So I know it was a pretty long live, brothers and sisters. I tried to present you guys with as much information on this topic as possible. And then, of course, we're going to clean this up. We're going to do our best to clean this up. I appreciate you guys, a lot. I'm going to put my, like I said, what I always try to do too as well is make sure that, it's actually in the outro too, as well as the intro. Let me make sure. Let me double check. Let me make sure and double check. But I'm gonna put in the chat because we got to keep this stuff going. And brothers and sisters, as you see that we're gonna have a lot of projects, and these projects are going to continue to help build and push through these lives and of course everything else that the FOF squad sees will offer up the ways in which we can continue to keep putting forth an effort to liberate ourselves, right? We need these things, right? So even if it comes with the videos or the intros and the outros where we try to recapture the iconography, all these things are tremendously important. But this also goes into my opportunity, in my time that I can take to provide the research and the scholarship for you guys. The more, we support this channel, the more I'm able to actually get involved in the scholarship and to obviously put it together in such a way to where it's seamless. I know it seemed a little bit sporadic, and then the live, what happened with it, what the end result was with the first live, right, that we started. But this is what they do. So it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we continue to keep supporting this platform. We're just not talking about Hey Roo. People who are part of the FOF squad, I got plenty of projects and ideas from people, part of the FOF squad, and I intend to support them too as well. So this is like a pot that we're trying to put together. This just isn't about Hey Roo. This is about this spiritual family that we intend to build. Notice in the next couple of weeks, I will be giving away 3 copies of The Untold Story of the Carbon Baby. So, we'll be doing that too as well, because that's tremendously important in terms of getting that out. So getting this information out, doing our due diligence in terms of our research, showing the Blanco that we defy them at every opportunity that we get, because we know for a fact that this is just warfare, and it's warfare at the alchemical level, right? All of these things that happen to us being reduced to interactions as far as, this is what happened when the kin and the Karen and all, that's trash. That's so outdated and outmoded. That's trash. All right? That ain't got nothing to do with what's going on right now and how you're being, how your existence is being undermined at the chemical level. how they're hiding from you that you are, made of crystals, and these crystals are important for your health, your reproductive health, and not to mention for your spiritual health as well. And it's critical for Mother Earth to continue to keep doing what she's doing in order to provide an environment that allows you to do those things. All right? So, I just want that, that to be said. And as always, brothers and sisters and Christologians, we end on this note. Who is God? God is the judge. And why is she the judge? Because she decides who wins and loses, not my opponent. Who is my opponent? He doesn't exist. And why does he not exist? Because he is merely a dissenting voice to the truth I speak. Christologians, speak the truth.
True love slips away, but I know that our love will survive. 'Cause I can't see falling stars in the sky no more. There might come a day when life and my true love slips away, but I know that our love will survive. 'Cause I can't see falling stars in the sky no more. Thinking what this life has to mean to you, and I like to say, why sleep? I was hoping when awake we'll make our dreams come true. Didn't hear me say, love can always count on me, hey, 'cause I'm always where I'm supposed to be. And now I seen your life change, my life changed when night came and we came together for love. It seems that life's strange 'cause light came when dark flames had came to come tear up our love. And I don't wanna play no games, no. Just a baby in the day you give me your last name. Oh, there might come a day when life of our true love slips away, but I know that our love will survive. 'Cause I can't see falling stars in the sky no more. There might come a day when life and my true love slips away, but I know that our love will survive. 'Cause I can't see falling stars in the sky no more.
She can't talk with no dry eyes. It's sunsets on that sky ride. Her hands up, no high five. I'm so high, I skydive. My life now feels screwed up. We don't move or we don't move up. I swear life is a ghost town, 'cause all we do is stay glued up. I can't lose you, I'll fight back, 'cause who can give me these nights back? Just arches up in that nice back. She drunk in love with no nightcap. Just come for me and my block scars. Won't take long to see rock hard. Just a wedding ring that's rock hard, and long nights when I'm rock hard.
There might come a day when life of our true love slips away, but I know that our love will survive. 'Cause I can't see falling stars in the sky no more. There might come a day when life and my true love slips away, but I know that our love will survive. 'Cause I can't see falling stars in the sky no more.